tonight. I loved how there was like a poetic, thematic element in this film, and my favorite part is when you're running away from the camera at the end in your gorgeous pink dresses. That was really gorgeous. Okay, how are we feeling about seeing our work on the big screen tonight? Especially these three ladies were all extremely vulnerable and open. Let's give them a round of applause for their vulnerability. First of all, wow. Thank you for your courage and your bravery to share all of that. All three of you really poured your heart out and told us, about your experiences and your pain and also your triumph. How you've really come out the other side. So Rebekah, what was it like to see that on the big screen and share that with these wonderful people tonight?
It was kind of like you said, it's really vulnerable, and like putting that out there for everyone to see, especially since my family's in the audience. But though it was like nerve-wracking, I also felt like a sense of fulfillment, and that I was able to put my voice out there and be able to share my experience with others.
Jennifer, how did it feel for you?
I would say it was very inspiring for me, and seeing how other people also have some of their stories, and also how vulnerable people can get, and how sometimes it just feels like your weight, the weight on your back is lifted.
That's beautiful. Jai, how about you?
It was super nerve-wracking. Honestly, I think I was cringing when I was watching my parts, but I would say the same for me.
Some people spend their whole lives trying to process what they go through as kids, as adults. This is extremely commendable that all of you are, under 18, and you've, been able to process what you've gone through and use it, and create this beautiful work of art. So, Jai, why don't you tell me a little bit about the filmmaking process? How did it start? Did we start with a poem? You weren't just overflowing with these stories. It took time to get to this point, right? So tell me how this evolved.
Well, I think our group really just wanted to make sure to kind of talk about our stories rather than really interview people. And we had an original idea that did have to be scrapped because there was a lot of scheduling issues, but what we ended up doing is going with a pink and white thing, because pink is shy, pure, and so is white, which is what we wanted to use throughout the whole film. And
Go ahead, Rebekah, do you want to share me?
We wanted to flip what pink and white stands for into because for women of color, we're infantilized, is that how you say it? Yeah. And that's the colors that pink and white are associated with, but with innocence, but also that innocence leads back to how we're perceived, and how we view our own beauty, and I guess flipping that to be a way to empower ourselves and say this is not we look good in pink. Yeah, and it's not a symbol of our innocence, but it's a symbol of our power and our beauty, our beauty in ourselves.
And Jennifer, what do you hope the audience takes away from a film like this? Was it therapeutic for you, all three of you, to kind of go through this? Do you hope the audience says, "Oh, I went through something like that as a kid," or "I'm beautiful in my skin"? How do you want the audience to process this?
Well, through the film, I think we just want to raise awareness of this topic, because a lot of people go through that, but they don't really talk about it, or really say it out loud. And through the film, I think a lot of people may relate to it, and it's also a way for them to connect with others.
Absolutely. How about you, Jai? What was a part of the filmmaking process that stood out to you? Did you like using the camera, the lights, the audio? What did you like?
Yeah, I'm a camera person. Sorry.
Sorry. There are different teams forming, apparently.
I enjoy playing with the camera and coming up with different angles. I personally think my role in this film was the camera, so I'm really proud of myself.
Absolutely, you should be. I like that. Yes. And what kinds of stories, Rebekah, do you want to tell moving forward? This was very profound and brave and vulnerable. So what's next in terms of the stories you want to tell in the world?
I actually have a project coming up.
OMG, let's hear that.
Yeah, for my school we do personal projects, and I'm going to be making a short documentary on how pressure affects teens. So, we're filming on Thursday.
Amazing. Can you tell us more about how pressure affects teens, you said?
Yes.
Oh, pressure in what form? Any kind?
Peer pressure, like pressure to change your appearance, like we talked about.
Relevant.
Yeah. Pressure to succeed academically, and pressure to hide your identity. Yeah.
Whoa, amazing. And are there any tools from the program you feel like you can bring to this next project? How are you going to build on your skill set? What's coming up for you?
I've definitely taken skills that I've used for equipment and like scheduling and like gathering research and making sure that everything falls into place, but I know that's not going to happen. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without Girls' Voices Now. So
That's awesome. And I bet we also learned to always have snacks on set. Like snacks are a big concern in the classroom. We had like a list going with her, like Sour Patch Kids, please. Okay. Candy is essential for a happy film set. How about you, Jennifer? What's next for you? What's going on in your life?
I would say getting involved more in the community and how to help them. Recently in my school, I joined a club in which it's very community-based, and we help give gifts to children, or we help clean the communities, and I think it's very fun.
That's amazing. Thank you for doing that. Wow. And Jai, if you, I'm sure there's some girls in the audience, or perhaps listening at home that might be interested in a program like Girls' Voices Now. Like, what would you say to someone who's a little nervous to apply, doesn't quite know what this is? What would you say? Like, why was the program useful to you?
Well, I went into this program wanting to become a doctor, and I actually still do. But to the girls who do want to join this program, it's worth your time. Like, you're gonna get all this experience in using all the different equipment in making movies, films, and you're gonna have so much fun. That's like really all I could say. Yeah.
I love it. You came and wanted to be a doctor. Boy, were you in the wrong room. That was not what was happening. I love that. Any questions for this group before we move on to the awards? Yes, ma'am. I love every question you've had so far. Let's hear it. Yes, let's hear about the two camera angles, ladies.
yeah, thank you to Jai and Jen. They both provided their own cameras. So we got one, camera A and camera B. So one, I guess, medium and one close-up. So yeah.
Absolutely. Any other questions for this fantastic group? Anyone? Oh, over here, yes.
Did you guys write the poem?
Yes.
Let's love a poem.
Yeah, we knew that we wanted to have like two bookends to like really tie the film together, and it wasn't until the editing process where we had the middle part of the poem actually. And now that I think about it, we should probably put something out there so you can read the full thing. Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful how each of these four films are so different from each other, yet they're all under the umbrella of documentary? Like this medium can mean so many things, and that's inspiring to me that we said, we want you to make something that speaks to your soul and your heart and the issues you want to talk about in the world, and look how different each of these films were. Any other questions from the audience before we wrap up here? Yes, Ashley.
How did you all decide which projects to make?
That's a good one. Well, I'll answer that. So the first week of the program, we sort of instilled, basic principles about filmmaking and how to think about what you're interested in. And so it was a pretty organic process, if I do remember, that it was like, okay, what are some social issues that you're interested in? And it kind of just ended up distilling into 4 main buckets, I would say. Then we put them all on the board, and then we kind of like, raise your hand if you're interested in this, and we just kind of put everyone's name down. And it was pretty organic, I'd say. It wasn't like, oh, everyone's interested in this one thing. It kind of ended up netted out at like 3 or 4 per topic. But they are extremely passionate, driven young women who had so much to talk about and so much to say. They want to change the world, and it was so inspiring to be around them every day. Not to mention, I got a lot of music recommendations, especially from Caper. She was like, give me a phone. Caper was like, here are the artists you need to listen to. I'm still sifting through that list. Any other questions for our fantastic group? Let's give one more round of applause.